What's up, ladies? Welcome to video 6, and I am pleased to share with you some ways to lower your cost of debt and to kind of like gear back into gratitude. So because I get paid weekly, in the month of August, I'm getting 5 paychecks. So this gives me some opportunity. So with paycheck 1, I've already paid off all of my operational bills and 2 minimum credit card payments. Now, as we know, we pay our rent prior month that it is due. Why? Because we're creating assets. And we're creating asset habits. So, as we know, prepaid rent is an asset. And it's a good habit to kind of create these assets when it's time you want to access more capital. So, let's move on. So now we're looking at goals, objectives, our positive thoughts, things we'd like to do with our family, and things we'd like to do with ourselves or for ourselves. And then here is my gratitude moment. This here reflects my diversified portfolio. As you ladies know, we are building private income, interest income. So this month, I'm including the JLM interest earned on profits. Here is like my manifestation profits for August. So when you ladies do purchase a JLM booklet from Amazon, that goes here. And it is really like, this is a way that I can contribute value to your analytics. Some women like to use scratch pieces of paper. Some women are more digital and they like to work on their Apple Note app. Me in particular, I like to write it all down and I love to be creative. So what you see here is what is offered on Amazon. So go check out the link if you're interested. So what I do with my manifestation income is I put it in a high yields at 4.2% fixed. This contributes to a diversified portfolio of 16.25%. Now my Roth is 6.6% and I cannot touch that money until I'm 55 and a half. I do have a high yields 5% interest bearing savings account that I put savings in. And for the month of August, I'm probably going to put in a minimum of $300. And then I have my Charles Schwab's, which is a cash reserve or what they call a sweep account. And as you guys know, I do have my bachelor's in finance, so I do like to trade stocks. But before we trade stocks, we calculate our analytics. And before we do that, it's called like an indecisive period. And you want to put that money and earn interest. So with my Charles Schwab sweep account, it's at 0.45%. And then when we go ahead and remove that money and put it into the market for an active buy, we can earn up to 20% in like a week, in a couple of days. It really depends on the movement of the stock. And then we put it back, right? So we sell the stock and we earn that 3% to 20%. And then we move that money back into the sweep account. So your capital gains and your original principal account is earning 0.45. So this is why I have that account. Okay, so it seems like because August feels like a money month, I'm considering more focus on my mapping. And as you guys know, mapping is the disposable income after we pay all our bills. And this is the space where I put the mapping. So if you guys here, you can snapshot that there. And this is kind of where I reserve that here. But because I still have 1, 2, 3 more minimum credit card payments to pay, I'm not quite ready to do the mapping. However, I have done some drafting and have been thinking about how I want to distribute these 4 payments, contributing to my 16.25 and contributing to paying down debt. So I know that seems a lot, ladies, but anytime that there's more money coming in, we do want to recalibrate, and we really do want to consider like what we're doing, and we really do want to focus in on our mapping. So similar to like last month, a big thing for me was my emotional center, and I put down consistency, try, and effort. That is an emotional pattern that I really want to stick with. So I'm gonna contribute to it here for August. So consistency, try, and effort. This is something that is working for me, and I encourage you, ladies, like, if consistency, try, and effort works for you, put it down in your notes. So when you're looking at your analytics and you're just kind of going back to your journal, like, it helps you stay in balance, to stay committed to your objectives, and ultimately creating experiences that you really want to create, right? So things I like to do with my family, I want to go go-kart racing. So I'm going to put go-karts. And this is probably going to cost me about $120 in total. But I want to go go-kart racing with my girls. And then things I like to do for myself, I definitely want to stay getting in the kitchen. So more cooking, and more working out, more workouts. Now, I know that seems like it doesn't contribute to money, but it really does, because when we have the intentions on like what exactly we are trying to satisfy, and I guarantee you, ladies, 99% of the time we are satisfying an emotional need. If we don't write those down, we'll end up spending money on purchasing items that do not fulfill us, which can take us out of our budget. So this is where you have like your practical side, and then you have your financial side. Now, this is your financial side because finances really is the components that make up the financial scenario, right? So finances is the stewardship and the management of resources. So what you think, what your objectives are, especially your intentions, that is going to impact what you're doing, your decision making with your resources. So this is why I put a lot of emphasis on the financial side. This is like your data analytics. This is your accountancy. So we all know, in order to stay focused, you have to know what you need to pay, correct? So write down all of your fixed expenses, write down all your variable expenses, your unexpected expenses, and then your savings contributions. And then here is your cash flow. So it's going to be your total income minus your total expenses, which gives you your ending balance. That is your disposable income. And then this is where we really want to contribute to our interest-bearing streams of income, our private income. So this week I really tapped into mapping, and I'm still kind of in the drafting phase, but I do like to highlight these. I do like to highlight like which paycheck paid what bills, because it kind of helps me in a practical sense. So, and I also have been looking at my ratio, my debt to income ratio, and currently I would love to get my debt to income ratio below 30%. Culture tells us like that is a better aim than 40%, 38%. I'm at 38%. And when I say culture, I mean the banking system. So if I were to want to take out a loan, banks would want to see about a 30% and less income to debt ratio. So that is something that I'm trying to obtain here, and I believe I can do it. I believe I can do it. If I were to use this paycheck, next week's paycheck, to pay my minimum balance of $294.96 on my double and pay off more of the principal, I can lower that minimum payment, which will provide me more disposable income to pay on principal amounts. Now, I know culture tells us, again, the banking system tells us to look at the avalanche method, or to look at the snowball method of paying down debt. So as we know, avalanche means like you pay the lowest principal balance and you work to paying the highest principal balance. And then the snowball effect is to pay the highest interest bearing credit card first, and then you pay like the lower interest bearing credit card first. I think for me, that's not helping me. That's not helping me find opportunity in the resources that I'm bringing in. So this is why I want to lower down the cost of my debt. If I can lower the cost of my debt, then I can pay more on my principal. And effectively, that is what helps me pay it off quicker. I don't know how to chime it. I'm not ready to chime it yet. Maybe soon in the future, I will chime like a strategy name to that. But right now, I'm just lowering the cost of having debt. So that is an objective. So I'm going to use the color, actually, I'm going to use the color pink. And this is something similar that I wanted last month, right? Pay down credit card debt. Well, this month it's an objective, and I definitely want to lower the cost of debt. So I'm actually going to put that. So lower cost of debt. I think that gives me more of like a focal point to kind of pay this down quickly. And then of course I want to raise JLM income. Oops. Right? And then, so these are like my two objectives. And then what was I saying last month? I would like to buy an operating business using seller's finance. I'm still on the market, but I feel like for this month, I'm really just concentrating on lowering the cost of debt and providing more support and encouragement to you ladies. And hopefully, increasing the JLM income. So I'm not going to put down buy an operating business using seller's finance. I'll come back to that probably. Maybe we'll look at this again in January, or not in January, in September. And then I would like to complete my MBA. I want to put a hold on that because I just want to make sure that I could stay committed for the 18 months of education. And right now, I feel like it's a good 2025 goal, but for the rest of 2024, I really do want to focus on paying down the cost of debt. So these are my two objectives, and I want to now fill out my positive thoughts. Now, my positive thoughts are probably what drive the engine to stay committed to my mapping. And so for me, I did jot down, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to freestyle some of my positive thinking. Like, I do have faith, right? This, I know that I have faith. Like, I'm 110% sure I do have faith. And then I'm going to bring it to a more serious color. And I'm going to put, I can, again, achieve. I can supply value. Another I can would be, or actually now I want to say I am. So I am contributing. That's a big one for me. I am present. This is where I'm at right now. Next week, I'm going to add more, and we'll see how my evolution changes. And if you guys notice from July, as we started with, pay down credit card debt, now it's a bit more specific, lower the cost of debt. You see that there's like that improvement, that focus improvement, that this is what we want. And this is why we want to journal, because we should see growth and we should become more specific and our vision should become more clear. So this is why you want to put down your best thoughts. So ladies, I encourage you to continue to free write and to really respect your financial analytics, because seeing it on paper that you are absolutely contributing to your purpose, you are actually inhibiting financial behavior that supports your vision. It feels good, and there's and I really want that for you guys. It's really hard to explain, but it is very fulfilling, and yeah.